Hey guys, hello, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Kayla, and today I am doing a room tour for you guys. Hello friends! So over the last several months, some of you guys have been leaving comments on videos asking if I would do a room tour, and I finally got around to doing it. There were a couple of moving parts since you guys started asking, like upgrading my bed from a twin size to a full size and sort of having to reconfigure my room a little bit. But I think I've finally gotten it to a place that I'm really happy with it. It's taken several years to get to this point. A lot of slowly buying new decor pieces, new furniture pieces, new like tiny accents and bits and bobs to finally get it how I wanted. But after a couple of years of reading about hygge and cozy sort of living and really falling in love with the cottagecore and academia aesthetics and French provincial design styles, this is sort of where I landed, I guess. I love my space and it feels youthful but grown up, and it feels whimsical but classic all at the same time. There's nary a blank wall in the room, so just something to note. Like, my design style is maximalist, and of course, like I said, I drew inspiration from sort of the whimsical elements of my life, Harry Potter and Over the Garden Wall and The Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, The Mummy, things like that. And then I also drew inspiration from aesthetics that I really love, things like dark academia and cottagecore, the French provincial design style. And then of course there's also tons of thrifted decor pieces. There's some sewing paraphernalia hanging around, travel trinkets and things like that. But anyway, without further ado, let's jump right on into the room tour. Hello, welcome to my room. Okay, so when you first walk in my room, this is kind of the overview. This is sort of the main sleeping, sitting area, and where I spend most of my off time, just hanging out, chilling here on my bed or here in my chair, which you can't presently see, but I'll show you in a moment. If I were to describe my style in just a few words, I would say it's a mix between light academia, dark academia, cottagecore, whimsy, and also maximalist. Also, I am going to just preface it with a lot of my furniture is mid-century modern style. When I first redid my room right after graduating from college, I bought the big sort of furniture pieces, my desk, my hutch, this little storage unit that you guys will see, and then also my chair right here. And they all kind of fit within the sort of mid-century modern style. And to be frank, they're really great pieces of furniture, and even though they're not necessarily my preferred design style anymore, I still really love them. They're really functional. They serve me really well. They hold all of the things that I need really well. And I think there could be fun ways to sort of play with them to try to make them fit better into my overall style. But even still, I think they all sort of work well together in the space. And yeah, they were good for pieces of furniture. Felt wasteful to get rid of them to buy new ones since they're pretty new, and they also are just, again, great pieces of furniture. But anyway, so this is sort of the general overview. Let's scooch this way and I'll show you guys a bit of the seating area now. Okay, so it's a little bit tricky to like sort of maneuver around because the layout of my room is sort of like an L shape, if that makes sense. But as you can see, I have this little teal chair here. It's just like my little barrel chair, I guess is what it's called. I got this on Wayfair, and this is sort of like my first big like furniture, adult, nice piece of furniture purchase that I ever made, and I really love it. I also have a ottoman at the end of my bed that I actually got. They were about to put it into like salvage at Target. I got it for like $50 or something, and they match almost identically. The color palette of my room is kind of a lot of colors. Again, I'm a maximalist, and so I do feel like a lot of the times when doing maximalist style, there's like a lot of different colorways happening. But I would say if I were to pick like the three main colors in my room, it would be pink, white, and teal. And then I do have like little green accents. And then of course, right now with it being autumn, I have a lot of orange accents, golds, blacks, and things like that as well, and browns. because there's a lot of wood tones in here as well. So there's a lot of colors, but I feel like they all sort of marry really well together. But yeah, so on this chair, I've got some pillows. They're just from various different places. Actually, I think they're all from Target. Then across from that chair, I have my bed here. I recently upgraded from a twin size bed to a full size bed. And it's just in this wrought iron bed frame. And then I have this mattress. This is actually a mattress in a box that I got at Target. It's from the brand Lucid, I believe. I'm not gonna lie, very, very, very firm when I first got it, but now that I've had it for about a month, it has really molded to my body and it is incredibly comfortable. I really do like it. Next to the bed, I have this little bin here. This I got at Target as well, and it's just this pink sort of woven bin, and I just store extra pillows and blankets in there. And then as you can see, I have this big old mirror on the floor. This used to be in my brother's room, but my older brother recently moved back home, and so I had to take it off the walls and I put it in here. And then of course you have the storage unit and the bookshelf. But before we get there, let's shift to above the chair. Okay, so this is sort of a different angle to this section. Hopefully you can see a little bit more that's happening here. But basically above the chair, I have this little geode necklace holder. I think it's meant for keys. I just hang my necklaces on there. It's not the best organizational system, but it works. And I like to have my necklaces on display. Necklaces is really, I think, where necklaces and earrings actually are really where my jewelry gets a little bit more adventurous, and so I have like a lot of whimsical ones. And then next to that is this stunning art piece. I thrifted this at the Goodwill near my house, believe it or not. It's a massive piece of art. It came in this gorgeous frame. I believe I got it for 50% off when I bought it. It is just like a stunning piece. I definitely showed it when I thrifted it here on the channel, but I'm just in love with this piece. Moving over, I have this massive wall of Polaroids that I will continuously add to as I take more Polaroid pictures with friends and family. These are from our little adventures, and then also just everyday life. There's like a picture of my mom sitting on the couch because I believe that we should document everyday life just for ourselves as well. Then just below that, you can see my record player. Admittedly, this isn't the most practical setup because it's not very easy to use the record player. If I want to use it, I have to remove all of the things on top of it. And eventually I think I would like to find a new home for these pieces here, but I do actually quite like how this sort of sits and how it feels very nice and styled. I just would like to be able to use my record player. Behind here, I have some of my favorite records, like The Black Parade by My Chemical Romance, which weirdly didn't come in an actual sleeve. It just came in like a little piece of plastic. I have Hot Fuzz by The Killers. I have Abbey Road by The Beatles. Frozen 2, because, I mean, how can you miss out on that classic? And then, yeah, some others. I have Queen's Greatest Hits and Panic at the Disco's Pray for the Wicked. Now, actually sitting on top of my record player are some Harry Potter bits and bobs. This is just like a little witch house because, again, my room is decorated for Halloween. And then I have Rowena Ravenclaw's diadem, and then this is a Death Eater mask, the Golden Snitch. I have a little Dementor keychain, and then just a little pumpkin. And they're all sitting on top of this really beautiful white and sort of ashy toned wood unit. This is made of like composite wood or like pressurized wood and plastic, but I believe I got this on Wayfair if I remember correctly. Also next to this I have my guitar. It's actually my dad's, but he has 2 guitars. He just recently got himself a new one, and then he let me keep this one in my room. And so my dad used to be in a rock band, and so he knows how to play the guitar, but he hasn't played in a really long time. And so we're sort of relearning and learning together. So it's been really fun. I also have like a massive stack of books on the floor because I ran out of bookshelf space on my actual bookshelf. And then I have a stack of books over on the other side of my room as well, and several like shelves that just house books everywhere. I'm an avid reader. If you guys are ever curious about what I'm reading, I typically post about it over on Instagram. Okay, so then if you move over a little bit more, you have my bookshelf. This is definitely one of my favorite spots in my room. I spent a lot of time sort of curating this shelf and just figuring out how I like it. Basically, it's just a ton of Harry Potter stuff, and then just sort of whimsical traveler. I don't know, it's kind of like a mixture of all of my personalities, and I think that's why I really like it. It just really meshes all of the things that I really love all together. As you can see, I like Funko Pops, so I've got a ton of Funko Pops up here. I have the sort of like original print covers of the Harry Potter books, and then I have Cursed Child and some other books from the Harry Potter series that I got as like presents over the years. Like these two Harry Potter books here, which are Sorcerer's Stone and Chamber of Secrets, are sort of like pop-up books, so they have interactive pages, which is really cool. On the next shelf I have a lot of Lord of the Rings things, and then I have this Lord of the Rings recipe book, I have the set of the Lord of the Rings books, some other bits and bobs, this tiny little frog reading a book that I got especially because I love miniatures, but also after I saw Over the Garden Wall for the first time, I was absolutely enamored, and I was like, I need a frog reading a book. So I got one, and I just put it next to this little mushroom cloche that I actually made out of a thrifted ornament. And then yeah, just like some wands, more books, this vintage Keystone video camera, and yeah, just different decor bits. A lot of it is thrifted. And then some books, some more books. Cyrano de Bergerac, which is one of my favorite movies that came out last year. I really recommend it. A globe, a candlestick, and on the bottom I actually have a really beautiful tea set that you can't currently see, but I'll throw up some overlays, and a thrifted Mount Fuji plate, and I also keep my scrapbooks down there. I like to scrapbook, so I have one for college and one for high school. Moving right along, I have my bed. I just love this bed. It's very, very nice, and even though it's massive, I only end up in a tiny sliver, and Gizmo takes all of the rest, which I actually find very adorable. It doesn't bother me at all. Plus, I sleep like I'm in a coffin, so it doesn't really make much difference. My bedspread is actually from Amazon. I really, really love it. Unfortunately, I bought this and then like maybe 2 months later upgraded my bed from a twin to a full, so it is a little small, but I just, again, didn't want to be wasteful, didn't feel like it was necessary to buy a whole new bedspread because it does fit generally. It's just like a little shallow depth-wise, but it's not a big deal for me. As for pillows, these are just normal like sleeping pillows. Then this little Home Sweet Home pillow, which I think is actually a Christmas pillow, is from Target. I keep it out all year long. This one is just a pink fuzzy pillow, also from Target, I believe, but I covered it with this green pillow cover from Amazon. And then these two little pillows are from Walmart. And of course I have Jason Funderburger because I dressed like Greg for Halloween last year, and that was sort of one of my props. Above my bed is my favorite feature of my room, these beautiful shelves my dad and I actually made. My dad does woodworking, he had some leftover wood, and so together we cut the wood, I went ahead and stained it, and then we hung them together, and I just styled it with some of my favorite pieces. I actually feel like this shelf is the perfect marriage of sort of all of the things that I love as well. We've got like the cottagecore moment, art because this is a old camera bag, some dark academia like mystery books. We've got a globe, some Harry Potter bits and bobs over here sitting on top of Anne of Green Gables, and then some dried flowers that I think are really pretty. And then these dried flowers are real. Those ones in the vase are fake. These ones are real. These are roses that I just turned upside down and dried. Also, I didn't mention, I do have this plant propagation here. The mama plant is right here. This is actually really special. This is a plant that our family was given after my grandma passed away about 11 years ago now. She and I were very, very close. So to have been given this to look after has been really, really fun and lovely. And I now have propagated enough so that all of my mom's sisters also have their own plant as well that they can have in their own homes. And then I also have this propagation and another one over here. Over here I also have an end table with a thrifted lamp, a Beatles book, and some other bits and bobs. I have a little moon lamp from my friend Josh, a vintage little chest that I keep my extra earrings in, a coaster, and other things like that. LOL, don't know how I forgot to mention, but I also have these floating candles because Harry Potter and whimsy. So then this wall is pretty simple. I do have like a little shelf right over here that has like a couple of trinkety bits, like a tiny fairy and a girl with a snowball. Then if you scoot over a little further, I have this really fun poster here. This is actually the lyrics of the song Blackbird by the Beatles. And so if you look really closely, you can see, so it's like, all your life you were only waiting for this moment to arise, blackbird singing in the dead of night. And so it goes all the way through in the shape of a bird, which is really cute. I got this at a like secondhand bookstore called Second and Charles. And then also on this little window here, I have like a faux air plant that I got at Joann's. And of course, I don't want to not mention my gorgeous, gorgeous curtains that I got on Amazon, and I really, really love them. I do have 2 layers of curtains. I just have plain sheers, and then over top, these blush pink lacy ones that are just so darling, and I really, really love them. On this windowsill, I have a little skull figurine that stays there all year long, and another plant propagation. Okay, then scooting around over here, on the floor you can't see him, but little baby Gizmo sleeping in his bed. He has a permanent bed that just stays in here. And then we have my desk. So in the desk area, I just have, you know, this plain white desk. I think I got this on Target's website. It's got fun hairpin legs that I think are really cool, and they're gold, which match some of the other gold accents that you can see throughout my room, like the lamp over there or this entire gallery wall that we're gonna get to. Then I have a Thomas Kincaid calendar, my thread spool holder, and a really fun art print that I got on Etsy that I think is actually a famous painting. I can't remember what it's called. I feel like it was called like The Woman with the Book or something very simple. And then up here I have sort of like a tchotchkes picture ledge, and there's a art print from the Cottage Fairy, who's a YouTuber here, and then some postcards from my travels. And I also collect little miniature figurines from different locations that I go to. So I have the Seattle Space Needle, which I've actually never been to Seattle, but my parents brought it back for me when they went. Then I have the Statue of Liberty, the Washington Monument, and Independence Hall, which is from Philadelphia. And then I have like a tiny little golden egg from Harry Potter that I just made out of polymer clay, and a Polaroid of me and 3 of my best friends, Chloe, Paloma, and Josh. Then if we scoot over a little bit more, I just have like a little hat wall here. These are some of my favorite wide brim hats. This one is the one I probably wear the most these days. It's my, I call it my Studio Ghibli hat. It just really reminds me of The Wind Rises, and I don't know, I love it, and I like to wear it when I go outside to garden or paint. And it is actually from Kohl's. It's originally from the Lauren Conrad brand. Then I have this tall standing lamp that I would eventually like to replace with something more sturdy. This is from my college days, so it's, you know, flimsy, cheap, but I would like to eventually one day replace this with a more substantial standing lamp. Next to it is one of my other favorite sort of features of my room. Again, playing with that sort of whimsy and magic. I have these floating bookshelves. On the bookshelves, I just put like random books that I felt like kind of worked color-wise together. So like on here, I've got some more cooler tones, blues, creams, things like that. And also I did try to keep them sort of categorical, sort of. So like here I have all of my Cottagecore and Hygge books. And then I have 2 books by Sarah Addison Allen, who again, my favorite author, and then 2 Julia Quinn Bridgerton books. Now then on this wall here, I have just like a shelf with a bust that my internship gave me. I worked at a historical home, and they gave me a bust of the founding father whose house I worked at. I have a Hogwarts Express snow globe, and then I have this fake pothos here. Now, it'd be lovely to replace it with something real, but I'm afraid to put anything real in this, because this is actually just like a Harry Potter mug. I don't want to drill a hole, so I don't want it to have moldy roots. So fake, I think, is good for now. Above it, I have my Mummy postcard, and then below it, I have actually this movie poster that as I read the movies, I sort of just scratch them off. Then here, I just have this really lovely chest right here. This I got on Wayfair's website as well, I believe, and it just has some little decor bits. I thrifted this lamp. I think it's so freaking cool. Circling around to maybe my actual like favorite wall in my room is my gallery wall. This took a lot of time in just collecting different bits and bobs from different places. We'll start at the very top. I have this incredible frame. I can't believe I thrifted this. I spotted it in a thrift store and like absolutely gawked. I ran straight to it, I grabbed it, and I just put the woman with the white parasol, I believe that's what that's called, or it might just be called the white parasol, up in there. It is a American Impressionist piece that I actually picked up when I went to DC. It was just an art print that I got there. There's another American Impressionist piece that I put here that's actually a postcard. This frame and the one above I actually got from Amazon. And then that print is actually a little pirate ship because I love pirates. Then I have a little frame here. This is an antique frame actually. It's very small, but it's antique. And it has the Weasley's burrow in it. I would like to put another little frame here at some point, but I just haven't found one that fits for the gallery just yet. So I'm, holding out for that. This is another thrifted frame, and I put a Thomas Kincaid print in there of like a little cottage I thought was really cute. Then there's this shelf right here. I thrifted this whole piece together. And there's just like a shelf with some cottagecore bits and bobs. This is a Dark Academia postcard I got on Etsy. thrifted mirror, thrifted dried flowers, a gnome, because who doesn't love gnomes? This is actually an art print from one of my favorite artists. He's a Japanese printmaker. He was considered like the father of Japanese printmaking. And it is just a print of the Washington Monument with the cherry blossoms during the Cherry Blossom Festival in DC. I picked this up at the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts. This is obviously, if you've seen Over the Garden Wall, Greg and Wirt and Beatrice and Jason Fenderberger in the unknown. I did put these little wooden bits on just a basic poster frame because I was having a hard time finding an ornate frame that was this size, and so I just felt like that was a fun way. Of course, I can never get it out of here unless I pop these bits off, but they're glued on with like Gorilla Glue, so they're probably never coming off. Then I also have this little rabbit, a hobbit, little postcard. That frame is from Amazon. And then this lovely art piece that is painted by my friend Molly's uncle. She gave it to me for Christmas. Okay, and then rounding back out, we have my little portable heater slash fireplace that my mom and I actually went halvesies on for our guest room, and then it got moved in here because no one was using the guest room and I get cold really easily. So that's right here. I've got some little bits and bobs, some books, this brass candlestick holder, little mushroom house that I got at Cracker Barrel actually, and then Sherlock Holmes's pipe right here. I also have this really lovely sort of hanging mirror candle holder that is brass. I got this at the Goodwill. Some fall decorations. My mirror, I love this mirror. I got it at Target. I was being very picky with what mirror I wanted, but I wanted a full-length mirror and I wanted it to be sort of arched because I really love arches in architecture. So I went for that. On the front of my door is this little wreath that I made. But behind here, I also have some hanging dried flowers. These two are real dried flowers, and I actually picked those, pressed them, and then framed them. And then this is a really fun art piece that I got at the Goodwill. It's made of like plastic, and it's got faux dried flowers on it. And then that's basically it. So that is the room, guys. All right, friends, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, feel free to subscribe down below. It's totally free, and I'll let you know when I upload new videos, which is every single Wednesday. I normally post fashion-related content. This week, we did switch it up a little bit with a more home decor slash styling type of video with this room tour, but I hope you guys enjoyed it anyway. Let me know if there's anything you guys want me to link down below, and I will. I think it'll be just too much to link everything, but if there's a specific thing that you're wanting a link for, let me know and I will shoot you that link in the comment section, and I'll go ahead and add it in the description box as well. I think that's really all I have for you guys. So again, give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, subscribe down below, feel free to check me out on social media where I talk about fashion and sewing and reading and all things aesthetic all the time. And don't forget, it costs absolutely nothing to be kind, so be kind to yourself and others, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!